Hey everybody, my name is Ryan, and today in this video I'll be doing part 3 of the Nazi Zombie storyline. Now today I'll be talking about the Black Ops maps Kino der Toten through Moon, so I hope you guys can follow along. There's a ton of information, guys, a lot more than probably the first two parts combined, just because this is where the actual story gets very intense, and it just really picks up in all the information, all the useful information, and all the important information. So guys, I'm really going to try to keep this as fast as possible because I don't want to keep you guys watching for 30 minutes. But I'm also going to explain a lot of information in this time period, guys, so please try to follow along. But anyway, guys, if you guys could support this video by just taking 2 seconds of your time to please click the like button on this video and leave me a comment with some feedback. That would really be appreciated, guys. Last video got about 400 likes, and then I get about 20 comments. So for each like, if I could get 1 comment to go with it, that'd be a lot more helpful to me. And also, guys, if you guys are a new viewer, please make sure to subscribe to my channel so you guys will never miss a video I post. But anyway, guys, without further ado, let's get into part 3. So the first map I'll be talking about today, guys, is Kino, and I briefly covered Kino in part 2. I'm going to be talking about it a little bit more in part 3. Kino is very quintessential to the story and kind of, opens the door for everything else to happen because it is the very first map in Black Ops, etc., etc. So the first thing we're talking about is Richthofen, and he actually knew a lot about Kino because he actually presented some ideas to the Nazi powers and the higher people at Kino, and he actually traveled there to grab the top secret weapon, Project Thunder, which was a Russian secret weapon that was stolen by Germany, which was the Thunder Gun, basically. And he goes and steals this weapon from Kino, and the reason why Kino is closed down is because Maxis was MIA when he wanted to present his teleport idea, and by that time the war was done and the theater was closed. But Richthofen actually, he was there before it was closed, and that's why he knew so much about it. So they go there and get the Thunder Gun, and that's really about it for Kino, besides all the Easter eggs in it, like the aliens and stuff, because there's really nothing tied to the storyline except basically what happened with Maxis and the Thunder Gun. So now we'll move on to Ascension. Now Yuri, I can't say his last name, but a scientist named Yuri was working in Ascension to send monkeys into space, and that's kind of why we have the monkeys like you guys see here now on screen that take your perks. The space monkeys is basically because of this guy working on sending the monkeys into space. Now another scientist by the name of Gersh sent him here to do this. He was working on a different project and he was moved here, and he now holds a grudge against Gersh for moving him here. Yuri begins to start going crazy, finishing this new device called the Gersh device, and once it's finished, he has Gersh activate it, which will allow the zombies to come into the facility, and it actually traps Gersh in this interdimension kind of ether thing. And that's how the characters go from Kino to Ascension. And when you guys actually start Ascension, you guys hear Gersh talking how he needs to build the Casimir mechanism. And the Casimir mechanism, just keep that in mind, guys, I'll be talking about that in a little bit, but it needs to be built because someone is coming, she's coming, and that she is regarding Samantha in the ether. They build the Casimir mechanism, get that done, help Gersh out by freeing him. But then this is where it gets confusing, guys, because in Ascension, the next map pack is Call of the Dead, and I'm not really sure how they would get from Ascension to Call of the Dead behind that locked door, and they need to be teleported out of there. So what I'm thinking is that they went from Ascension to Kino. They went back to Kino for some reason, and then they used either the Wunderwaffe and the Thunder Gun, or just the Thunder Gun to overload the teleporter, and then they somehow teleported back to the Siberian facility, which is Call of the Dead, behind that locked door. So at the same time that they're doing this and they're behind that locked door in Call of the Dead, George Romero is setting up a horror movie at this site, and everyone becomes mummified because it is a testing facility, and it's has a lot of 115 there, which they were using. And they actually, all the characters, which are like the Mexican again, Danny Trejo, Michelle Gellar, the other 2 people, Rucker, and I can't remember the other person, but they are hearing Richthofen, Takio, Dempsey, and Nikolai behind that door saying, we need help to get this goldenrod, we need your guys' help. And they follow the steps that Richthofen tells them, and they get the goldenrod for Richthofen. They teleport out of there to Shangri-La. Richthofen gives them a Wunderwaffe in exchange for helping them. Now, nothing's known about what happens to them afterwards, but Richthofen and them then teleport to Shangri-La, and you guys can actually hear them teleporting. When you guys first start Shangri-La, you guys can hear like the teleporter noise as you spawn. So once they do that, they teleport to Shangri-La, and Shangri-La is a mining facility for 115, and that's the reason everyone's zombified there, is because all the inhabitants were actually mining the 115, and they returned into zombies from the 115. Brock and Gary, you guys might know them from the Easter egg, they were actually there to prove the theory of Agatha, or Agartha, or whatever you guys want to call it, or proving that it could be, true. and they're actually in a time loop. So they might finish out all the steps, but then when they die, they'll loop back because they're in the time warp or the time, some kind of time fabric thing. I really don't understand it that much, but I do know that they are in a time loop, and whenever they die, they just come back and they just do the whole thing over and over. So they go back in time, the old crew, by pushing the buttons, and they help Brock and Gary to survive, but yet they just keep looping, so they would always need someone to go back and help them survive. So they're kind of screwed. But the temple was actually, the temple in Shangri-La was another testing site for 935 and a mining facility, and that's why on the obelisk table it says Richthofen, because Richthofen has been there before, and that's why he can explain so much about it, because he does know a lot about Shangri-La and what's there and what they're looking for, which is the focusing stone. Now Richthofen goes there, he does the Easter egg with the crew, and he gets the focusing stone. Then with that and the goldenrod or the drill device, he can then fuse them together on Moon, which is a part of the Easter egg in Moon, and he can finally take over the zombies. And that's all he wanted the whole time. He used them to basically, he manipulated all the people to help him get these two things and get to Moon so he could take over and, get rid of Samantha. So once they leave Shangri-La, they go to Area 51 to go to Griffin Station, or the Moon base where the MPD is, where basically the hub for controlling zombies is. They do the Easter egg. Sam, opens up in the pyramid. Then Richthofen says, "Your time's come, you little bitch," or "you little brat." I can't remember what he says, but he says something like that. He powers up the goldenrod and the focusing stone and fuses them together in that little machine with the computer. Maxis tries to stop it, but Maxis is overrun by Richthofen, the fear Teddy thing. Teddy's a liar or whatever. So he does that. Richthofen takes over of the zombies. Samantha and Richthofen trade souls. Richthofen is then fully in control of the zombies. He just goes crazy with all the voices and stuff. You doesn't hear him really. He's really happy to be in control. And then Maxis says, "I knew this might happen," and he has a plan, and he sends rockets to the Earth. So that's where I'm going to cut off part 3, guys. Part 4 will be covering all the Black Ops 2 maps and basically Buried and what's going on so far. But this is a really, really successful series on my channel. I really couldn't have done without you guys watching and supporting my videos, so thank you guys so much for that. My first one got about 1,000 likes, and my second one has over 600. So thank you guys so much for that. That's really that's a crazy number of likes and comments and stuff for a channel my size. So thank you guys once again for that. And I've also had a couple people comment saying, that you stole this from the wiki, or this sounds like someone else. Well, in all honesty, guys, the storyline will never change. It's one story, unless you guys get to Buried, where it can change depending on which story you actually want to do, the Richthofen or the Maxis side. But up until now, everything is the same, guys. So wherever you guys read it, it'll basically be the same. And I'm just kind of giving my own twist on the story. I am telling you guys what I know about the story, because I have done all the Easter eggs. I follow the story since World at War, and I really, really do keep up with zombies. I love zombies. It's just so fun. And, the storyline just tie in. I just love, reading about that stuff and figuring out the storyline for myself. So just keep that in mind, guys. I'm not stealing this or copying this. It's all the same story, and I'm just giving my opinion or my, my 2 cents on the story. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for your support. If you guys could just take 2 seconds of your time to please click the like button and leave me a comment on this video, it would be very, very appreciated. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, my name is Ryan, and until next time, I'm out. Peace.